Hey folks, so millions of Americans are going to be receiving a $3,600 stimulus check. Yes everybody, it's official, more stimulus payments are on the way. Now if you want to find out when you should expect to receive a $3,600 stimulus check, then be sure to stay until the end of this video. Remember guys, the whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. I believe that we must get a fourth stimulus check until the crisis is over. Our politicians and Congress must do a better job in helping out the American people like you and I. And if you agree, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family, everybody. Alright folks, many lawmakers are still pushing for another round of stimulus checks to be included in Joe Biden's American Families Plan. On March 31st, nearly 24 Senate Democrats wrote a letter to President Biden and his administration. Our politicians urged him to pass recurring payments and automatic unemployment insurance tied to economic conditions. Some Democratic lawmakers are also now calling the payments survival checks rather than stimulus payments. And folks, that's because a fourth stimulus payment will definitely help stop millions of Americans from falling into poverty. Just last summer, over 150 economists wrote an open letter supporting recurring monthly stimulus payments for as long as necessary. So everybody, what are your thoughts on this? How long do you think the government should provide stimulus checks to the American people like you and I? I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Folks, the past 3 rounds of stimulus checks have definitely proved to be effective. The Economic Security Project recently released a report that found that direct cash payments have played a critical role in fighting poverty, boosting small business revenue, and increasing state and local revenues. I personally believe that the stimulus checks have done a great job in helping the American people out. And if you agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. It is up to the Biden administration to include a fourth stimulus payment or recurring monthly checks in his new American Families Plan. A new report also shows that more than 6 in 10 adults admit that stimulus payments will not sustain their financial well-being for the next 3 months. Guys, lawmakers need to listen to the American people right now. More relief must be passed soon. In addition, everybody, a new $3,600 benefit might be showing up for you and millions of other Americans this July. According to Yahoo Finance, these monthly direct payments will be sent out as part of an expanded child tax credit of up to $3,600 per child for every working family. Some lawmakers say this is basically a fourth stimulus check for Americans. Under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the child tax credit has been increased to $3,600 per child under the age of 6 and $3,000 per child for ages 6 to 17. In addition, everybody, before the stimulus bill was signed into law, the credit only applied to children under 17. According to the National Law Review, the credit is fully refundable and the $2,500 earned income requirement is eliminated. The best part is that taxpayers will receive half of this credit in monthly cash payments. That means that for the months of July through December, recipients will receive $250 to $300 a month for each qualifying dependent. Now under Joe Biden's new plan, eligible workers would get a guaranteed minimum benefit equal to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. People who have received benefits for at least 20 years will get a 5% bump. Widows and widowers will receive about 20% more per month. And to pay for those higher benefits, Biden would apply Social Security payroll taxes to those making $400,000 and up. In 2021, workers generally pay the 6.2% Social Security tax on up to $142,000 of wages. And so the good news is that earnings between $142,000 and $400,000 would not be subject to those levies under Joe Biden's new plan. So guys, just expect Social Security issues to be taken on by lawmakers this year. But still, Senator Mitt Romney has touted the Trust Act, and this will let lawmakers from bipartisan committees to address programs like Social Security that face a shortfall in funding and fast-track changes to improve them. Still, in order for that bill to be passed, it must gain support from Republicans and the Democrats. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Are you in favor of more Social Security benefits?
Conducted to check whether or not a taxpayer is following the law. Don't focus on these wealthy taxpayers. In 2019, low-income families claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit made up nearly 40% of all IRS audits. So, Ms. Brown, we audit a lot of lower income taxpayers rather than focusing on the wealthiest people. What does that mean for the racial impact of our tax enforcement strategy?
It means that it's being borne on the backs of Black Americans and not where the true gap is with higher income white Americans who have access to tax attorneys who apparently the IRS would prefer not to push back against. So they go after low income EITC claimants who don't have access to tax attorneys to push back. It's very unfair.
That's right. And Professor Brown, am I right that you have looked at what the most audited counties in America are?
Well, ProPublica did research on that, and of course, I'm familiar with that. Yes, and they are in rural Black communities in the South, and in the South is disproportionately the number of Black Americans living in the South. So they have been Black Americans in the South who filed the EITC have been targeted when research shows over 50% of EITC claimants are white.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Professor Brown. You know, as your research shows, one reason why is implicit bias. Politicians and bureaucrats embracing harmful stereotypes about Black Americans that can lead them to single out EITC recipients. But there's another piece here, too. After years of Republican budget cuts, the IRS targets the people who are the cheapest to audit, and that's low-income taxpayers, many of them people of color. It is cheap and easy for the IRS to blast out letters to intimidate EITC recipients, but rich people use complicated tricks to evade taxes, so those investigations require time and money and expertise, things that the IRS is short on. In fact, a recent report from the Treasury Inspector General found that the IRS is not even working on the cases of the highest income taxpayers who don't file taxes at all, but who collectively owe more than $45 billion. So, Professor Brown, if we gave the IRS a big pot of money and mandated that the IRS spend it on auditing the wealthiest taxpayers and the biggest corporations, targets where we know there's a huge amount of money going uncollected, could that help reduce the racial disparities in the tax system?
Absolutely, absolutely. It would make who pays taxes a lot fairer.
Good. So thank you. There's a lot we need to do to make our tax system less racist. And one easy place to start is by making sure that the IRS has the resources and clear direction to go after the biggest tax cheats. I'm really glad that Commissioner Reddy supports the bill that I'm working on to provide a new targeted mandatory funding stream for the IRS so that the agency has a predictable, sustained, and protected pot of funds dedicated to ensuring that the wealthy and that big corporations are paying their fair share. It would give us a better, stronger, and more equitable tax system for all Americans.